Hey guys, Trevenant Forest here, and today this is week 8 of the NPL. Now this week we go up against a tough opponent in Fog and the Colorado Avaluggs. Now, it isn't what it looks like right now. It used to be, going into week 6, we were both 4-1 with a plus 16 differential. And while I've surged the last 2 weeks, Fog has unfortunately, or fortunately for me, kind of collapsed, going 0-2 with a minus 11 differential in the last 2 games. But we can't feel too sorry for him, considering he's the only legitimate threat I see to my conference title. So I'm going to but to beat Fog, I'm going to have to prepare the most I've ever prepared in any NPL match, just because he will be my toughest opponent yet, just skill-wise, team-wise. Yeah, so he will be my toughest opponent yet. So why don't I show you guys? Alright, looking at his team. Oh no, Enterprise. Let's wait for my internet to unfreeze. So in the meantime, how are you guys doing? I for one am doing very well. I hope you guys are too. Alright, so looking at his team, he's got the very threatening Chansey, always a threat just because it can pass the biggest wishes. Well, technically Blissey passes the biggest wishes, but yeah, but it still passes like 350 plus HP wishes, which is basically a full health for all his mons. So I'm gonna have to make sure that I can't just wish pass for free. Next we got Keldeo. Sub-Calm Mind would be a problem. If he specs, that could also be somewhat of a problem, but I'm not scared of Scarf. If he's Scarf, then it's not a problem. Doublade, I don't think he'll bring, just because Nidoking and Charizard destroy it. Hippowdon is really his best. I mean, it's really his best check to Charizard. It also kind of acts as a counter, because it can take 2 Flare Blitzes. It can also take a +2 Flare Blitz, even Adamant Max Attack, so gonna have to worry about that. Then we got Extro next, which is always a threat under the sand. Amoonguss, which I don't think he's gonna bring. It kind of falls in the same boat as Doublade, except now Charizard is more of a threat, and Nidoking is less of a threat. Staraptor, Staraptor could do work, but I don't know if I see it coming. Mega Gardevoir is definitely coming. Besides Registeel, I really have nothing to stop it. I mean, Spadef, I do have some Spadef things that could take a Hyper Voice, but they won't be switching in, and they're not like a switching like Registeel is the Hyper Voice. I only have one switch in the Hyper Voice on my whole team. Sorry about that. Next we've got Slowbro. That's also a probable thing that could come, because it's a switching for Flare Blitz with Charizard, against Charizard. And then next we have Diggersby, which he's only brought in 2 games so far, but I feel that's the biggest offensive threat to my team, because after one Sword Stance, Life Orb, Diggersby kind of destroys my whole team, unless I have a Reflect Up with something. And next Rotom H, he hasn't brought it yet. I don't think he's gonna bring it, just because I don't really see it doing anything, honestly. So yeah, so that's his team, and I will go ahead and get you guys on looking at my team. So I'll see you guys there. Hey guys, Trevenant Force here, and we're back with the battle. Well, first the team preview. Unfortunately, I'm on the wrong file on my computer, so I can't do it through Team Builder because I don't have Showdown on this file on my computer. But or the Showdown app, and I can't get on the Showdown website on my computer anymore because it's a piece of shit. So we'll just do it from here though. So first I have kind of Elite 8 Elf, max speed with not max speed, max HP, with enough speed to outspeed timid Keldeo
without a Scarf. Energy Ball, Knockoff, Taunt, and Stealth Rocks. I really feel like this is going to come in big this game, or I did, because Taunt would allow me to keep rocks off the field, although I did think he would, because looking at his team, I did think he would bring more bulky or a stally team, but he actually only brought 2 defensive things on his whole team, which is, I think, the first time he's brought less than 3, which is kind of crazy. So, yeah, next I have Physically Defensive Umbreon. This is really my only switch into Diggersby and or Excadrill. If he brings those, which he did bring the Excadrill. Next we have Alomomola, Physically Defensive Standard, Scald, Wish Protect, Knockoff. Next we have kind of a weird crest, that especially defensive crest with Light Clay, Reflect, Dual Status, and Toxic and T-Wave, and Psyshock. And next we have kind of a weird Registeel set. We have Adamant, Max Attack, Max HP, AB, Assault Vest, Registeel with Power Up Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, and Iron Head. This pretty much allows me to hit his whole team for super effective damage. Also allows me, it gives me a switch into Gardevoir, because I have nothing else to switch into Gardevoir. So that is great. And then finally we have a Charizard, a Sword Stance Charizard with Sword Stance, obviously, Flare Blitz, Dragon Claw, and Roost, enough speed to outspeed Timid Gardevoir before Mega Balls, which also allows me to outspeed Adamant Excadrill outside of Sand. And if he brought it, it would allow me to outspeed non-Scarf Jolly Diggersby. So that is my team. These 5 things I thought he would bring, I did think he would bring. Excadrill was interchangeable with Diggersby, but I didn't think he'd bring Staraptor. I thought he'd bring like one of his defensive mons. I thought he would bring 3 defensive mons, whether it be Dewblade, Amoonguss, or Slowbro. I was thinking of Slowbro out of those 3 he would bring, but he didn't. He brought Staraptor, and you'll see he actually runs a pretty cool Staraptor set. So let's get right into the battle. Alright, so he leads off with Staraptor, I lead off with Azelf. I will be on the other side of the battle. Now here, I was predicting like his Powdon or Chansey lead, and I get that run, and I really can't switch. I can't switch into anything because I'd give him momentum. So I just stay in with Azelf because I'm bulky and I know I can take 1 U-turn. Go for Knockoff is switching Gardevoir. It's a nice chunk, but not enough. And here I'm just praying he doesn't predict my switch and go for Focus Blast, but he just goes for Hyper Voice. And as you see, I eat that up. Tasty. I'm just gonna go for the safe Iron Head. Don't want to predict or anything. I get off a tiny little chunk on the Powdon, just enough to make sure you can't get up to leftovers after 2 turns. So I go into Charizard, and just so I could get in my Mega Evolution up before he gets his rocks up. I'm just going to Mega Evolve and go for Flare Blitz, and now this might be weird because you think I might be sacking Charizard here because if he goes for Earthquake, I'm dead. But I know Fog, and Fog never runs Earthquake on Powdon. He always runs the standard Whirlwind, Toxic, Stealth Rock, Slack Off. No offensive moves at all. So I'm gonna go into Crest, or he Whirlwind being the Crest. As he switches in Chansey, I go for the Reflect, so that's great. Excadrill and Staraptor can really do nothing to me. So I'm just gonna go for the Toxic, as he Toxics me as well. So it might be a little weird Toxic in the Chansey because it has Natural Cure, but any damage I can get on this thing while I can is going to be key. So right now, I think what do I do? Alright, so we both get Toxic, Poison damage, Showdown's gonna start. Oh, I go in the Registeel as he. Oh Lord, Showdown, please. As he goes for Wish. And right here, I make a double, and I basically use Registeel at the pivot switch, go into Umbreon. And Umbreon is my heal beller, so that it can take away any toxic on it or my other two walls. And I just go for Toxic Cure and Hip out on just to get residual damage on it, because that'll be nice. And right here I go into Azelf, and I think I go for the Energy Ball, and he actually, I guess, predicts that as he goes into Staraptor to take it, but that 25% of Staraptor is nice. And right here I'm like, okay, I'll switch out and I can keep Azo around. But no, he reveals the Pursue, and because I switched out, he's able to kill me. If I'd stayed in and tried to get up my rocks, he would have not been able to kill me. And I could have gotten enough rocks. So right now, I go into Alomomola because it'll probably take like 3% from Pursuit because of Reflect and stuff. And I go to knock off, really predicting him to switch out, and he goes into Chansey, and that's amazing because it's a Violite Gall. And right here, I go into Umbreon as he goes for a Wish, and what do I go for here? I think I go for, I go for the Heal Bell to heal up, Cresselia, get rid of its poison, and he goes into Excadrill. Wait, let me pause. Alright, so in that turn, I was worried that he would go for Focus Blast for resisting Registeel, and then I would die to another Focus Blast after that, so I was worried that he would take me out in 2 hits if he hit both Focus Blasts. And he was free to go for a Focus Blast, he didn't even have to go for a Hyper Voice. So I actually go for a Foul Play, and by going into Excadrill, at the time I didn't know this, but after the match he tells me he doesn't even have Focus Blast, because he wasn't really looking at Registeel as a thing I would bring. So that's great. That means, well, I mean, at this point in the match, I still don't know. I still don't know that he doesn't have Focus Blast, but I'm kind of curious why he didn't go for Focus Blast. So I just go for Foul Play, and Excadrill takes a huge hit. So as long as I can keep Chansey from wishing back to it, I can handle this thing really well. Alright, so he's gonna switch out into Keldeo as I go for another Foul Play, because I could take any hit from Excadrill, even an X-Scissor, and I get off nice damage. And here I'm waiting for Leftovers to kick in, because obviously Subcalm Line Keldeo destroys my team, but for some odd reason he's running Scarf Keldeo, which, like I said in the team preview of his team as I was going through his 11 mods, doesn't really do anything to my team. So as he predicts something and goes into Chansey, as I go for the T-Wave, and it's not bad because I can still Toxic this thing later on after it switches out. So I go into Alomomola as he goes for, I think, a Wish, yes, and right here I get the burn. Now, even though he gets the Wish to heal himself back up, I do get the burn, which is really, really good. That'll make dealing with this thing, wearing it down, easy. Now again, you'll see that me thinking he has Focus Blast comes into play again, as he
if he goes for Focus Blast, and he hits both the one on the switch, and he goes for another one, hits that, I'm dead. So, I calc it, and I know I can live a Hyper Voice, even modest max special attack, as long as he doesn't get a high roll, or pretty much a max roll. However, if I get crit, or he gets max roll, I die. Or if he's modest and gets max roll, and I die, then I lose the game, because at that point, Alomomola is my only way of preserving my Registeel, and if Registeel is weakened, then, you know. Also, Alomomola is pretty much my one way of checking Excadrill and Staraptor, as Staraptor can close combat the Umbreon, and Excadrill can X-Scissor the Umbreon. And Umbreon's weak enough to the point where Earthquake can probably even 2-hit KO it on switch. So right here I make the risky play of staying in and going for the Wish so I can pass it to my Registeel. I don't need to pass it to my own Alomomola just because I have Regenerator. So he goes for the Hyper Voice. Sorry about Showdown lag. It does 80%, which tells me that he's definitely not modest max special attack. He's most likely timid, and he even got like a low roll. So I go in the Registeel, and again, all this precaution around Gardevoir didn't even matter because he didn't have Focus Blast in the end. But you know, during the game, I didn't know that, so I had to be very cautious, or else I would lose. He gets a crit on Shadow Ball, doesn't matter because I get back up to full. Here I reveal the Power Up Punch, predicting his Chansey, and I really catch him off guard. He is not expecting that. So I'm just gonna go. Do I go for another? No, I go for Iron Hit because I could kill the Chansey at that range. And here I reveal the Ice Punch to hit Powdon. I originally wanted to go for Iron Head to flinch it, but canceled, didn't work, so I was stuck into the Ice Punch. But that's not too bad. I get caught on well below half as I get Whirlwinded in Alomomola. I go for the Wish. I take 6% from the Sandstorm. He takes some damage from the Sandstorm as well. And here I think I pass the Wish out into Rest. Yeah. Into Cresselia. I take 30%. I'm down to 30%. Now here, he thought that if he Seismic Tossed, he would have been able to kill me. Looking at that, I have a max of 443 HP, and 24% still more than 100 HP. I think I still had more than 100 HP, so I could live Seismic Toss. So he goes for Wish. So he healed himself up, and then he also gets up another Wish. And as I make kind of a, I could have killed Balron right here, and it would have been over. I wouldn't have had to deal with this thing anymore. But I don't. I go for Roost, and Hippowdon gets back up to full, and I'm at this point, I'm like, fuck, because I didn't think he would go into it, just because there was a huge risk of me going for just even a Dragon Claw. Right here, I go for Short Stance, hoping he doesn't go for Whirlwind. I really can't go in for anything else. I really don't want to go for Flare Blitz to get more damage. Dragon Claw won't do that much. I could get some chip damage, but I really was hoping he'd go for like Toxic and not the Whirlwind, but he does. So I revealed the Sword Dance to him. He knows I have it now. So he Whirlwinds me into Umbreon, and I think this is, I just go for Foul Play, and it does absolutely nothing because that's a Chansey, which has literally non-existent attack, and it's bulky as all hell. So he
takes about 12% between sand and foul play damage. Now, this is a good thing about Chansey is no leftovers recovery. Sure, it's bulkier because of Violet, but sand is wearing him down 6% every time. So basically, by going into Registeel, he can't go into extra drill because at this point it dies to a power-up punch. So right here he goes into Keldeo, and I'm really tempted right here to click Thunder Punch because it would do a lot. It wouldn't kill, but it would do a lot, and I'm thinking he might go for a water move, but I can't risk it because this is my only thing for Gardevoir. And he actually does indeed go for Hydro Pump. He misses, so that's great. Alamo can stay in and just get up a Wish. And after I switch out this next time, I will indeed have full HP. Well, before Rocks. After Rocks, I'll have about full HP. Now right here, I think I just go into Registeel. Yeah, I just go into Registeel, and every time this Gardevoir comes in, it's getting weaker and weaker, and he really can't pass a Wish into it from Chansey, at least when it's in on my Registeel, as I can just go for Iron Head one time and kill it. But so right here, I get a Wish up again on Registeel, and that's great because it was actually getting down to 74%. So I just go for Power Up Punch here. I get up to +1. I went for Power Up Punch, predicting him to go into either Hippowdon or Excadrill. And I go for Iron Head, going for the flinch. I could have gone for Ice Punch for a little bit more damage, but I wanted to try to get the flinch because if I got in a flinch, Ice Punch would have almost taken him out. And he would have probably gone for Slack Off, but then he would have had even more toxic damage, so it would have worked out in my favor if I got in that flinch. But unfortunately I don't, but it's okay. You know, it's only 30%, it's not, I mean, Scald is more than 30%. And looking back at it, I could have actually taken him out with 2 Side Shocks there, but I don't go for it. I go into Registeel. I didn't, but he does go for Soft Boil instead of Wish here, so I guess I shouldn't have taken him out with 2 Side Shocks. So I go into Registeel. This time I don't go for Power Up Punch. I predict the Keldeo to come in, and I go for Thunder Punch. He hasn't seen it yet, so he didn't know I had it at that point. So I reveal the Thunder Punch, and it does actually a really good amount. Considering Registeel only has base 75 attack, even though I am adamant max attack, to do 50% to a Keldeo is really impressive. And here he goes for Hydro Pump again. I don't know if he knows that I'm AB. I don't know if he calced the Gardevoir damage to see if I was AB. But I just can keep switching into Registeel. So right here I go for the Alamo switch. I Wish up as he goes into Chansey, and I go into my Charizard. And if he wants to go for Seismic Toss, I'll still be at full HP. And right here, what do I do? Alright, I don't want him to pass it into Excadrill, so I just go for straight for a Flare Blitz. I could have gone for the Sword Stance, but I don't. So he gets up the Wish into Hippowdon. I almost kill it. I mean, I don't think I had the chance to kill it, even depending on the roll. I don't think it did. So I go for Flare Blitz again for more damage. He just slacks off, which was kind of a risky play, because if I go for Sword Stance, I'm able to KO him at +2 after 2 turns of Plastic. So that was kind of risky on his part. I go for Roost to heal myself up. He goes for Slack Off again. And here, I believe I don't want to get any more damage up on myself, so I actually go for Dragon Claw, which still does a nice third. It does a third, which is actually really nice. And I get Whirlwinded out into Umbreon. So right here, I believe, what do I do with Umbreon? I think with Umbreon, I just go for Foul Play. Yeah, I think I go for Foul Play. And again, it does diddly to Chansey.
And right here, I think I go right back in the Charizard. I think Charizard will now be my switch into Chansey from the rest of the match, as long as this Chansey's still alive. And I just go for Flare Blitz and kill it. So that's the first kill of the game for me. And even though it pretty much means Charizard cannot switch in anymore, it was worth it just because Chansey, now his team can, only his Hippowdon can heal now. And it means that his very weakened Gardevoir and very weakened Excadrill cannot, they cannot heal back up. So that means Excadrill dies in 3 Life Orb hits, Gardevoir dies in I think 3 or 4 burn turns. So the 2 biggest threats to my team are now not able to heal back up. So that's amazing. Right now, right here, I could have killed it, but I think my thought process is I didn't want Ice Punch for some reason to not kill or something. I don't know. I also want to stall out Sand because that would be good, like stall out Sand. Alright, here I think I just go for another power up. No, I go for Iron Head, trying for like a flinch. Again, probably should have gone for Ice Punch for more damage. And so I get Whirlwinded into Crest. Hippowdon is really, really weak at this point. So I go for the Reflect because basically I'm thinking this is game. I can just switch in between Crest and Registeel for the rest of the match. I get up a nice side shock on Gardevoir. And Gardevoir now only has 1 turn left. And okay, here we both switch. He doubles into Excadrill, predicted my Registeel, which is a really good play because if he got Ride Voice, Gardevoir would have been dead. And here, this is where something really bad happens. He goes for Earthquake and crits me. He crits my Registeel. And that basically at the... going into... I mean, yeah, it really sucked going back into it. Because at that point I had the game 100%, and looking back at it, I still have the game 100% won. But, it still sucked because it still gave him a tiny chance to win the game. But, I mean, again, the 2 things on his team, the 2 most threatening things on his team. Alright, this dies in 2 Life Orb hits, and to any hit of any of my mons, even the Side Shock from Crest probably would kill it at this point. Gardevoir dies on it can't switch in because it'll either die to the hit or die to the burn, so it can only switch in for free once something has died. Keldeo is not a threat because I still have Alamomole around, and Staraptor is not a threat because I still have Alamomole around at really a healthy range. And the thing is, I have 2 Regenerator Fodders that I can switch into, let die, and let Alamomole just heal it back up if I can't get it Wish. So that is really awesome. So basically, I don't want to do that because I want to preserve 3-0 because any differential matters. Also, sorry about that's been so long. It's a really long battle, as you'll see. I mean, we're already at turn 60 and it's still 5-3. So right here, I think I go for a Wish, just in case you want to go for EQ to wear me down. I could, with the Reflect up, I could just Wish up. Yeah, so I go for the Wish. And right here, I'm able to just kill the Hippowdon with the Scald, which is really good because that would have sucked if he'd been able to live. I mean, I know it's a super effective Scald coming from a water type, and it's a Hippowdon that's physically defensive, obviously at 17%. But you can never tell. So that's a one thing that Alamomole
it gets its first kill of the season, and it's back at full health, which is awesome. Alright, so next he goes into Gardevoir, not knowing that I haven't revealed. My last move is not toxic. He thinks it's toxic, but it is indeed protect. And so Alamo is going to pick up its second kill of the season, as because it dies to burn, it got burned by Alamo. It counts as kill for Alamo. So 2 kills for Alamo so far, and we are back tied. We were down 5-3, but Alamola in crunch time is really coming through. He goes into Keldeo. Keldeo's not a threat at all because its Hydro Pump barely does over a third. It can't go for Secret Sword Reflect up. Even if it does go for Secret Sword, if Reflect wasn't up, it wouldn't do more than 23%. So he gets a decently high roll, but again, doesn't matter. Even with the crit here, I can just go for Scald, just because a crit won't kill me. If I go for the Scald right here, I guess he predicts me to go for Protect. And he goes into also my Reflect wears off right there. So he just goes for another Hydro on the run. So I just go for the Scald, hoping for a burn. It's only doing about, that time I actually get a crit, but no burn still. And just spoilers, I never get a burn on this thing. I go for Scald a few times, I never get a burn. Okay, here I go for Wish, and here he predicts me to go for Protect. He also got a really low roll on that Hydro Pump. Maybe even he predicts me to go for Protect, but I really have no reason because I can live a critical hit Hydro Pump. So I just go for Scald. Not only do I get a nice 20% on this Staraptor, but I also burn it, which basically means he has no chance of winning this game now. His only chance would have been to get off a good amount of damage with Braviarys, and then go into Excadrill and hopefully try to get a crit for him, but he doesn't. Now here I could have gone for Protect to try for get Alamo its third kill, but I don't know why. I think I was afraid of something. I honestly don't know why I didn't. I mean, as you'll see, Earthquake, even if he got a free switch in Astro, Earthquake doesn't even do close to half. And I'm able to just take that out for Alamola's third kill of the season, third kill of the game. So these last few turns, these will be the last, like, I think 4 turns of the game. And it's basically just me wish stalling out this Keldeo. So if you wanna kind of skip a little bit until the battle's over to hear my post-game comments, that's fine. But it's basically just me stalling out this Keldeo, and as you see, like I said, Secret Sword is doing diddly, and I keep trying for the burn, but no dice. I'm not getting any burn. He just keeps going for Secret Sword. I just can keep going for Scald. I think I don't even go for another Wish at this point because I don't really need to. I find that unnecessary. Right there gets a mid-roll. I get a Scald. Still no burn. But right now, since Alamola's attack is way higher than its special attack, I can actually go for a knockoff. He actually gets a crit right there, which if I hadn't killed with knockoff, I would have had to sack him on to get Regenerator up. So, but that will be the game. 75 turns. Just the recording of the battle itself has taken 30 minutes. I'm sorry if it's kind of boring, but it was at the end. It was kind of, well, it wasn't really a boring battle, but just because at the end it was really exciting, because Alamola in 15 turns turned it from a 5-3 disadvantage into a 3-0 win. it stayed in the last 15 turns. It was not only was it the MVP just because it killed 4 things, it was the cause of the death of another, caused Star Raptor to commit suicide, but it also just switched in on Keldeo every time. It stayed in on Gardevoir, took a Hyper Voice, not very well, but it took a Hyper Voice, and was able to wish up to Registeel. Like I said, he didn't even have Focus Blast and Gardevoir, so that wasn't a necessary play, but it's still cool. So yeah, he also didn't have Sword Stance on Extra, which is a little curious. So that means basically, unless he crit my Alomomola with the Earthquake, there's no way he could have swept my team, just because he didn't have any way of setting up. So yeah, that was a good game, Fog. I now have a huge lead in the conference, 3 games with only 6 weeks to go. As long as I only lose 2 games over these next 6 weeks, I have a guaranteed win, and that's only if Fog would win out. If he didn't win out, I could lose 3. If he lost even one game in these next 6 games, I could lose 1 game and still have the conference. Next week we actually play another conference opponent who's actually up tied with Fog, at least record-wise. We play Razor, Wolf 24, and the New York Metanes. The Hack Scott from NYC. You know, I think that will be an easy win for us, even though he does have things like Greninja. He has like Mew and Gengar, which Gengar kind of scares me, but I'm not too terribly afraid. So, you know, it's been a long video, but if you stuck around, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to see more NPL content, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.